Call of Duty Black Ops 7's campaign features 11 pieces of hidden intel for you to find, one per mission, and here is the location of all of them. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to use the chapter select to jump directly to the one you need. Let's get started. The first intel to find in Black Ops 7's campaign is deep within the first mission, Exposure. After the team has been exposed to the cradle and attempts to exit the facility in the objective Escape, they find themselves falling through the floor into a new place entirely. This is where you'll find the collectible in the objective Press Forward. After you've landed, pick up the kinetic jump minor ability and use it to ascend the 3 rock platforms to the main area where combat awaits. Clear the stairs, walking up toward the giant machete sticking out of the ground. When you're not under constant enforcer fire, approach the well next to the machete and you'll find a smaller one on the rim of the well. Here you can collect the Becoming the Monster intel. Inside is the first mission on the map, Avalon, and it may seem like a daunting place to find one piece of intel, but Treyarch was nice about this one. Once you've got the objective, meet up with Karma, and are tasked with finding her in the grotto, make your way to her with the path of your choosing. Before or after you speak to her, look to the right on the ground, and you'll spot a body bag to interact with. Interact with it to collect the Truth intel. Once you've made it through the maze of containers in Distortion and survived the boat ambush with the rising red waters, you'll get the objective to rescue Woods. Make your way to the container, but do not open the container. Instead, run past it to the edge of the floating dock and hop up on the vine lining the edge. Looking ahead, you'll see a lone floating island. Use the grappling hook to get to it and then turn around back towards the objective. You'll see what looks like part of a building. Grapple over to it and look at the wall between the 2 ledges to see a tiny piece of intel called Family Ties. Back in Avalon, the Escalation artifact is mercifully close to the objective once again. After defeating the sniper Priya, you're instructed to go to the server room and access the main terminal. Once you've safely made it in, you'll have a marker pointing out the main terminal. You can access it before grabbing the intel, but we advise grabbing the intel first. In the room with the main terminal are 2 small rooms flanking the entryway. Enter the room to the right of the entry door by hopping through the room's window or entering through the door. There's a laptop open on the desk and in front of it a small USB stick. Grab the USB called the Cost of Business to successfully log the intel for this mission. Playing as Spectre 2, you'll find the intel for Disruption during the objective Infiltrate the Forge, which begins after you've left the yacht. Clear the hostile forces in the entryway of the Forge. Once they're done, your next objective will be to access the restricted area. Ignore it for now. Instead, take the stairs to the left of the objective, taking all flights up to the diagnostics section, labeled on a big wall with a red 8. In this room, you'll find a self-revive kit and other things. The intel, though, is on the far back left corner on top of a filing cabinet called Best Laid Plans, next to the big control desk. Grab it and collect the intel for this mission. The mission Collapse is a bit of a tricky one. While you'd expect it to be in the Coliseum, you'll actually find this intel before even setting foot in it. After you've successfully cleared out the many enemies in the tented area just outside the Coliseum, you'll get the objective Locate the Tablet. If you're staring at the front of the Coliseum, you'll want to go left. You're looking for yellow merchandise tents lined up along the Coliseum. If you're looking at the yellow tents, the ruins will be behind it, away from the Coliseum. Climb up there to grab the Heavy is the Head collectible. The intel for Fracture can be found quite early on. After you've made it through the 2 streets pressed up against each other, the roads twist suddenly. You're on the objective, Navigate the Canyon, where you'll need to hop across cars, trailers, and other platforms to progress. You'll see a blue semi-truck almost immediately. After that, there are some larger pieces of road that you can hop on, but then you'll want to drop down and into the other semi on its side, this time in red with a farm scene painted on the trailer. As soon as you hop into the open trailer, turn around and you'll spot an LMG. Just past that is the mission's artifact, Team Bond, which is probably the smallest of all the intel pieces. In Quarantine, after you've taken the elevator zipline up to the penthouse, you'll get the objective Check Bookcase, which asks you to investigate the suspicious bookshelf. Make your way to the bookshelf and then just follow the path in the video. It's easier than trying to explain it. In Suppression, once you've arrived at the hunting cabin, you can grab this intel. You'll start with the objective, reach the cabin. This is a surprisingly sneaky one. Inside the cabin, head upstairs and take a right into the room. Inside the room, take another right and look right again toward a wooden dresser. To the right of that is the Collectible, a fishing rod called Lake Time in the small corner. Breakpoint. Alright, we're back in Avalon for this one, and this one's pretty easy to miss. As you make your way through the level, you'll eventually get a mission on the docks called Disable Cradle Shipments. Don't disable them. Instead, approach standing on the bridge on the eastern side or the side to the left of the stadium, technically, clearing a few enemies as needed. Look over the bridge towards the objectives and you'll see a crane below near Guild cargo containers. This is where you'll want to go. Hop down onto the shipping crate next to the crane. Inside the guild crate are two boxes. Between them is the intel you're searching for, Trigger Finger. The final piece of intel in Containment is a nasty one. They put it in the final boss battle. That being said, you'll want to make sure you have the grappling hook as it makes getting the intel much easier. Once you get into the fight with Kagan's 3 mechs, trust me, you'll know when you're there, at the end of the mission, you can sneak away from the fight and grab this artifact. Look at Kagan's control room. Then to the right of her around the edge of the arena, you'll see some guild containers floating over the edge. The one closest to the control center is at an angle and acts as a ramp toward the others. The goal is to climb the angled one, then hop over to the next small container. You'll see that this container has an opening facing away from the fight. Inside the small white guild container, you'll find the Face the Nightmare artifact, a canister of the cradle. Grab it to complete your collection of intel for the Black Ops 7's main campaign. Thanks for watching, and for more on everything else Call of Duty Black Ops 7, stick with IGN.